friends, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Haley. Thank you for clicking on to watch my January TBR video. And if you're not new here, thank you for coming back for another video. It's nice to see you again. So for January, I feel like this is a pretty chaotic time. Everybody's new year, new me, trying out new things. So I thought, what better way to pick my January TBR than to give up complete control of my TBR. So we're going to use a random number generator. I've got my computer pulled up and ready to go. Sorry, the screen flickers pretty bad. But I have narrowed it down to just 42 books on my TBR cart, and we're going to pick my January TBR from this. Now, I'm only going to pick 9 books from here. My goal for the month is to read at least 15 books, so I do want to leave a little bit of wiggle room for me to mood read. That way I don't get into a slump. But we are going to use the random number generator to pick 9 books off of this TBR cart. So we've got 42, so let's get right into it. All right, so we got number 1. Go figure. So the first book on my TBR cart is The Wager by David Grann. I've had this on my TBR cart for a while. I picked it up and wanted to get to it this summer. We take a beach vacation pretty much every summer, and I really love to read pirate and shipwreck stories, so I had picked this up with that in mind. But I think it'll still be a good fit for January and kind of the moody, cold season. So The Wager will be book number 1 on the TBR. All right, so now we are gonna sort from 41 books. Okay, we got number 31, so let's count. All right, 31. So book 31 was Anatomy. This is a duology. It's a YA duology, and I believe I'm wanting to say I saw Rachel Catherine read this on her booktube channel, but I honestly might be mixing up my booktubers. But I saw somebody read this on a reading vlog, and I was really interested in it, so I picked it up. And I actually just gifted this to someone in one of my book clubs, and we're planning to do a buddy read. So I will message her and see if she's ready to buddy read this in January, because that's going to be book number 2 on my TBR. All right, time for book number 3. 38. Okay, so since I know there's 40 on here, I'm just gonna go back. So we've got 40, 39, and 38, and I am very excited about this one. So if you watched my TBR video talking about my physical TBR, you would have seen that I got Magnolia Parks in my book outlet haul. And this is the first book in the Magnolia Parks Daisy Hates universe. And I have been really excited to try out this series because I feel like most people that I watch on BookTube really love this series, and I've heard that it's like a pretty toxic relationship, so I'm interested to see how I feel about that, since I'm more of a lit fic girl as opposed to traditional contemporary romance. So I might actually enjoy this more than some of our like sunshine ends and, you know, rainbows type of romances. So I'm really excited to get into Magnolia Parks. And I did get some Barnes & Noble and Amazon book cards. I did get some Amazon and Barnes & Noble gift cards for Christmas, so this might give me a good reason to pick up Daisy Hates if I really enjoy this book, which I'm trying not to add to my physical TBR, but if it's to continue a series, I will allow it, just so I don't have to wait forever to continue with it if I'm enjoying it. All right, so book number 4, and only 39 books on the cart. 14. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, a nice thriller. So we've got Wrong Place, Wrong Time, which was a Reese's Book Club pick, and honestly, anytime I've read a book that was a Reese's Book Club pick, I've really enjoyed it. I read Tom Lake by Ann Patchett earlier this year. I actually listened to the audiobook for that one because it's narrated by Meryl Streep, and I would highly recommend it. I absolutely adored that book. So hopefully Reese's Book Club doesn't steer me wrong and I do enjoy this one as well. This one is actually interesting because a friend of mine mentioned that she had this or was gifted this, and that's why I picked it up, so that I could read it and we could discuss it. So I'll have to ask her if she's gotten to it yet, and if not, maybe I will have another buddy read in January. All right, that's 4 down. We've got 5 to go. And we've got number 32. So we've got 38 on the card. I'm just going to go from the end. 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32. Okay, this one honestly was probably going to go on my mood reading TBR anyways. So I'm really excited that I got this one as part of my planned TBR for January. So this is Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin. I picked this up as a birthday gift to myself when we went to a little local bookstore. And I've read Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, as well as The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry, and I really enjoyed both of those. This one is YA, and I hadn't heard of it before I saw it in the bookstore, but it's really short, so I wanted to pick it up and give it a try, so I'm really excited this is on my TBR for January. Alright, so the number I got is number 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dragonfall. Okay. This is a book that I was shopping at Barnes & Noble, and my husband thought it looked really interesting, and I'm a girl who's big on books that have dragons in them. I love a good book that includes dragons. That's kind of my preferred type of fantasy, so I'm hoping that this is good. I know sometimes recently when I pick up books that are supposed to have dragons, I feel like they really don't, and I don't know what is going on in the fantasy genre that people are writing books that seem to be centered on dragons and like magic surrounding dragons, and then they're not a huge topic in the book. But I have wanted to get to this one, and I'm definitely in the mood for some like cozier fantasy, so hopefully this will fall into that category. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books picked out. We've got 3 to go. And we got 26. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay. A nice short book. So this is another book that I received as a gift from someone in my book club. It's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And this was the inspiration for Blade Runner, so I'm really interested to read that. I've really been enjoying sci-fi throughout all of 2024, so looking forward to starting with some new sci-fi in the new year. And again, this one's really short, so I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be able to tackle this on my physical TBR in January. All right, we got book number 2. So book 2 on the shelf is going to be The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. And I believe this is a vampire novel, and I believe it's a standalone, which makes me really excited. But I've enjoyed a lot of Leigh Bardugo's writing. If you look back in my Goodreads and the books that I've read by her, I've really enjoyed them, so I'm really excited to get into this. I did buy it as soon as it released, and I was planning to read it back in October, but October was by far my worst reading month of the year, so I just didn't get to it when I planned to, but I'm really excited to get into it now. All right, this will be our last book on the January TBR as picked by our random number generator. Oh, and we're going with book number 3. Okay, I don't know if I'm quite ready for this one, but book number 3, oh wait, nope, this is book 2 on the card now. Thank goodness, because I really don't know if I'm ready to read that one. But this book I am really excited about. So my husband got me this book as a gift. It's James, and this book is kind of a retelling about one of the characters in the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I hope that's the correct name for the book. I sometimes mix up the naming for the 2 books. I'm pretty sure it's The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, but this centers on the character called Jim in that book. Here he's called James, and it's a retelling of his story. So I've been really excited to get into this, and I believe that Barnes & Noble named this their book for 2024, so I definitely have heard great things, and I think the reviews really reflect that this is a great book, so I'm very excited to get into it. So let's do a very quick recap. I've got my 9 books here. Let's see if I can lift the stack. So the 9 books on my January TBR are going to be James, The Familiar, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, Dragonfall, Elsewhere, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, Magnolia Parks, Anatomy, and last but not least, The Wager. So I'm really excited with kind of this assortment of books. Sometimes when I can switch it up between genres and topics, it really helps me to have a faster reading pace and not get into a slump. So I'm very excited to see how I will feel about this TBR. And if you want to see if I accomplish all 9 of these, you'll have to come back at the end of the month for my reading wrap up, where I'll go over all of the books that I've read in January and give you a general review and ratings for them. So hopefully I can get not only to these 9, but to an additional 6 to hit at least 15 books for the month. But honestly, I'm shooting for more books than that, so we will see how we do by the end of January. Bye.